Okay, hi guys, welcome one and all. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of October 2019. It's just coming up to 20 to 11 here in the UK in the morning. And yeah, let's just have a look at how things have gone. So, since yesterday, I did have this position in the EURCAD, a short in that, which I talked extensively about over the past few days. So this, when did I enter this? This was on, so the 24th I entered this, 23rd and 24th I added to this position as well. So just over a week, and this hit take profit for a total around 280 for about £200 risk. So this turned out nice. We'll have a look at the actual charts on that a bit later in the video, just to see how that materialized. Currently still got these two positions here in the Swiss JPY. So this is a short I have on that. And again, we'll have a look at those charts a bit later as well. So for now, let's just have a look through all of the charts just to see how the market's shaping up currently and see if there's any opportunities for today with trading. So, and of course, if you like what you're seeing here today, just remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. That really helps me out and makes it all worthwhile doing all of this. So let's crack on. Let's have a look at EURCAD first of all. So first of all, very bearish overall, lower lows, lower highs. We can see we've got the nice standard deviation channel around the price. Problem at the moment is it is a bit too oversold for me to potentially short this now. We can see that it's recently just at this kind of support area here. It's just tipped through it. So if you were a breakout trader, that might be something that you would trade based on the break. I don't trade breakouts personally. What I do is look for the price to have pulled back and give some signs of continuing with the trend. For me, this price action here is a bit too late and a bit too dangerous selling into this potential, well, very evident support here as well. So I'd want to see the price move back, find some value for money, and show some signs of continuing back down again. So I would pass on EURCAD. So next, let's have a look at the CHF. Again, this looks kind of bearish. What's caught my eye, and I think I would have mentioned this in yesterday's video as well, is also this retrace here is quite evident as well. So overall, in the longer term, I'm bearish on this, and we can see even in today's candle, it's come up, it's interacted with our standard deviation channel, and it's moved away, which is good signs that the price could continue with that bearishness. But what I'm extremely kind of aware of is this retrace as well. So in this downward move here, the price never kind of moves continuously in one direction. It takes a run, if you like, and then a breather, a run and then a breather. So this we could deem as a potential breather at the moment that the price is taking in this pullback, which is another reason just to be hesitant to try and short this at the moment. Although there is the momentum of this behind it, this downward move with lower lows and lower highs, shorting at this point, you could be selling into that support. So the price could potentially bounce off and move higher. So for this to make more sense for me, I would personally like to see that support being broken more significantly, and we can see that on the lower time frames as well. So for example, 4 hourly, hourly, all of them actually, you can see this area here, these lows here, we're finding support. It's found resistance after it's broken it, so I'd like to see it break it and then pull back again, just to be a bit more conservative in that trade. You could of course aggressively enter this. So your stop loss would be above these highs here, stop above there, and then you would short it, you know, going for 1-for-1. That would stack in terms of the profit target. Your profit target on 1-to-1 would be down here with an entry. So that is one way you could aggressively trade it, but personally, not my cup of tea. I would pass on that one personally. But let's see what else is on in the market. Okay, so we've got the AUD JPY, very similar story, bearish overall. It's had its pullback here. which is also potentially, it's this limbo of, the price could in the short term move slightly higher, overall in the longer term move lower, but there's no intentions. The price is just at this limbo point where it could find support, continue to find support, or it could break it. So really, to short this, same thing, I'd want to see it break past this support here, break lower and pull back, allowing for a more assured trade, a more probable trade, because that will also break through our standard deviation here, we can see. So moving lower, price moving lower here would be a break with our standard deviation, and just a better sign of that bearishness that we want to trade with. AUD USD, bearish on this overall, of course. You can see on the daily here, clear lower lows, lower highs. Price fits neatly within our standard deviation. Just get rid of this here. But the price is just too oversold at the moment, as is the case with a lot of these AUD crosses. It's coming into support. Selling now, in my mind, wouldn't be the best move, because you'd be, you're basically saying the price has to make new lows in order to profit from this, rather than at a more opportune time. If we'd been trading up here, the price only at least needs to find, support, as it's doing now, for you to make money. Here, this price has to break through that support, move lower for you to hit a take profit. So timing on this isn't great. So I would pass on this and just look for the price to pull back before considering to short that. So let's have a look at the CAD CHF. Very choppy, sideways at price action. This isn't really tradable. This strategy is based on a trend-based strategy, so we're looking for the trend, the momentum of the trend to basically, help us with our trade. If we're trading the same direction of the trend, it's a lot less effort. There's a more probability in the trade going our favor. So this one here is the CHFJPY. So overall, yeah, it's still a bit of limbo. So, I mean, my overall view on this is bearish. Lower lows, lower highs. There's been this resistance from previous price action here, quite zonal. So the price is probably going to have some trouble moving much higher than that. But at the same time, I'm just hesitant of this bullish move here in that retrace. That move could, push it much higher than that previous resistance. So I wouldn't want to be short or long on that at the moment. Really, to favor the short, I'd want to see these lows here broken. So the price move past the low and then pull back. And given these are daily candles, that's not going to be anytime soon. So, talking a week or two into the month before that's even viable, really. So pass on that. This is the trade I'm in. Scaled into this, so 2 positions. So how do I describe this? So yeah, so daily, nice lower lows, lower highs. Price was nicely within our standard deviation in this bearish move here. Had a nice reference point for our delete that. A nice reference point for our stop loss above what I was deeming as a lower high, and also above previous resistance as well. In fact, let's put that back in. So this here was not only the lower high in our standard deviation, sorry, in our downtrend. So this was a lower high compared to these previous highs. It also interacted with our upper standard deviation as well, and it was also some horizontal resistance from previous price action here. So it's quite zonal. These lows here, these highs here, these lows here, just gave some clue that the price, if it were to come up to this level again, would have trouble moving much higher than that. So it gave a good reference point for the stop loss. So I'd entered at this level here. So I've got some decent positioning on this. So let's have a look at the lower time frames just to put this into context. This was my first entry. This was my second entry around here. And you can see the way that I'm managing this at the moment is I've basically, if we look on the hourly, taken my take profit on my second position to break even, because what is currently happening is on these lower time frames, the price is finding a lot of support at this level. So there was previous highs here, kind of lows there, lows, lows. So this, as a price as it is now, where it is now, it's finding a lot of trouble getting much lower than that. And because I've got two positions in this, I've got some options. So this first entry that I've got up here is great. I'm happy with this. There's you know, even if the price were to start to reverse now and start to make higher highs on this price action, I can still maneuver out of this and take it out at a profit. This second position here wasn't as good. It's good enough if this price were to continue to move down and break and make new lows. But you can see how rangy this is previously. So if the price starts to make higher highs again, this entry here isn't that great. It's great if it continues, like I said, down with low lows, lower highs. But if it continues with this boxiness, where there's a good chance of it coming up to these kind of highs here again, this entry is pretty bad. But I'm already in it. So it means that I can manage this to basically reduce the risk overall. So what I've done in this position, rather than have the stop loss all the way up here and potentially, you know, put profit at risk and capital at risk unnecessarily, the rationale behind this is if the price does start to break these previous highs, so it would be you know, in this downtrend it would be I'm deeming this as a lower high, and the price, if it starts to move higher than that, break through the standard deviation, I'll be taking out a break even on this. So I won't be losing any money on this, but I'll still have this higher position in as well for this bigger move. If in fact it doesn't do that and does what I want it to do, breaks lower, then this obviously won't get hit. I'll still have my take profit in, which is for, if you go to the daily, all the way down here, and I'll be well positioned on this. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how this is at the moment, because it's relatively good positioning. Based on the 4 hourly, you know, there looks like it could in fact, you know, if the standard deviation holds true, it looks like it could reverse. I'll get stopped out, break even, fine. It just means that I can get another entry in at an even better price. So this is just, you know, when you manage your trades like this with nice generous stops in terms of where they are in the on the daily chart, making sure they make sense across multiple time frames, you have options. You have options to manage your risk, manage your profit, manage your losses. So this is a really good example of how thinking about the markets can help you, you know, just protect your capital and increase your profits as well. So let's have a look. What else have we got? Oh, and yeah, that is not one that I'd be looking to enter new. So if you're in that position, it's one to hold out, but definitely not one to enter new positions on. Right, sorry about that, guys. One sec. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at this next one here. Euro AUD. So bullish on this overall because of what the daily's saying. Yeah, as I said yesterday, I think I suggested a very low risk, aggressive type trade on this because of the price action that we were seeing on the 4 hourly. That would have probably got stopped out, but as I said, I wouldn't have favored that. This is there just needs to be a bit more congruence across the time frames on this. This is saying bullish. This is slightly bullish at the moment. These lows are getting higher, but the hourly and lower time frames are quite flat, even favoring to, you know, bearish. So I would pass on Euro AUD for today. And probably the next few days until there's a bit more readable price action that's more readable. So EURCAD, let's have a look at this. No, bearish overall, but oh, this is one I got. This is one I took profit on. So yeah, so let's have a look how this one stacked up. Just have a look on the hourly. Which one should we put in? Let's put in this one. So can see this was my entry here. this was my exit here, this level. So yeah, this just used the price action in this one really, just to guide it down. I took out my take profit basically before this previous low here, and we can see if we go to the daily, this is going to make a bit more sense. The reason I like or prefer to take profits out before these previous lows, or as near as it as possible, before the price reaches this level, is because as it approaches these lows, it will have a tendency to find support and move higher before moving lower. So at the moment, I'm anticipating that there's going to be at least some short-term bullishness as it's approached this low here, and it's going to pull back. So I've already taken profit off the table. You can see these two positions here. So I'm fine with that. The price finding, pulling back is even better because it gives another opportunity to get on the back of this. After it shows some signs of reversal, it's going to continue down again. So that is just one of the good things about positioning yourself like that, waiting for the pullback, having a stop above the previous lower high in a downtrend, taking money off the table before the previous low. I've just found it to be an effective strategy. You may too as well. But yeah, this is good. Wouldn't be looking to add anything to this at the moment until the price has found value for money. So this, for me, is a sit on the hands type job until there's better value for money. This is a Euro Swissy. You can see as it's approached this previous lower low so far, it's found support and it's pulled away. So this could be worth shorting after we see it pull back a bit more and show some signs of reversal. So yeah, but yeah, nothing for today on this one. So pass on Euro Swissy. EURGBP. Yeah. Yeah, this is looking all right actually. So we've got some context here. Let me just break this down and see what's seen in here. So firstly, I'm looking at this lower high. It's in that overbought area, which is good in this downtrend because we want the price to be overbought if we're going to short. Sorry, just distracted there. Some alerts going off. Oh, yes, this trade flying. Okay, so yeah, basically, yeah, we've got some context here. We've got a lower high in this move here. Ideally, I would have preferred to see, more pullback type of retrace. This isn't really a deep retrace. It's not even, I wouldn't even guess that's 23.6. Oh no, yeah, it's about 23.6 on the Fibonacci. Typically, this type of retrace to this level is more favorable, but we've got context because it's within our standard deviation. So we've got good reason to think that the price could continue to move down lower. So the factors at play here, let's put that Fibonacci back in because this is another contributing factor. Has it hit it? No, okay. Yeah, I never use the Fibonacci in isolation. It's just a kind of confirmation of what the price action's doing that helps back it up, but I don't use it in isolation. So here we've seen these previous highs here. It's kind of zonal. It's interacted with these lows here, these previous highs. It goes back. It goes back. I would say there's good reason to consider that the price should have some trouble moving much higher than that, which gives us a reference point for our stop loss above those highs. So next thing is to look to the lower time frames. Some nice, more clearer price action on the 4 hourly. These are kind of deeper pullbacks because we've got more contact points in the price. So yeah, this is fine. This looks good. The hourly at the moment as well is showing some signs of bearishness. It would be better if it had passed these previous area of support here and moved much lower and then pulled back. But I'm reading enough into this to think it's probably not my full 1% I'd be thinking on this, because there's some good things and bad things. I mean, it's broken a price structure here. We've seen it kind of come out of its standard deviation and start to find resistance off of it potentially. Again, the most conservative trade here is waiting for it to pull much lower than this support and then pull back, meaning that we can use that as a standard deviation. But I would be partial to doing at least 0.5% trade on this with 0.5% risk. So the stop loss being above this high here, right? So positioning on this is good enough to consider that. So that's about 40 pips. That will take our 1-to-1 to around about here, this level. But I'm gonna wait on this to close and have a bit more of a think about that offline. But yeah, I'm probably going to open a position on EURGBP, but I just need to take into consideration a few more things. I'll do offline once I finish this live stream. But yeah, there's potential in that for me. Just mark this off so I remember to come back to it. Come on. Okay, next, let's crack on because this video, don't want it to go on too long. So, EURJPY, bearish overall. Just not happy where the stop would be on this. Above here, 224. Yeah, it's the positioning on a stop. I would have mentioned this in the other videos. The most sensible place is a stop above the previous lower high here, where there was previous resistance as well, but it would project the take profit all the way beyond here. So this from here to there is about 215. It's a bit too tight for me. It's just kind of bang on support. It's just after it, the previous low. So it's tradable. You could, yeah, I'd pass on that. I'd pass on that personally. It's not bad. Low time frames, great price action. 4 hourly. There's enough bearishness in these lower time frames. 4 hourly as well to consider the short, but I'd pass on it for today. Mainly because I've got another position in anyway that's doing okay, and it will probably correlate with that as well. So this one here, Euro USD, no, too far gone. It's too far extended, too far gone from the previous lower high. So I'd pass on this. Wouldn't want to be shorting on this just yet. It's too expensive. This price action is very choppy, so pass on that. This here is looking okay. So this is the GBPCAD finding support yesterday and today off of this level here, which is also our standard deviation. If we bring the channel out here, we can see that it's interacting with the lower edge here. So the timing would dictate that we've got a stop loss below that support. Would make sense. But so the hourly, 4 hourly here is showing nice signs of bullishness. The problem for me at the moment is what the hourly is saying. This still is very, very bearish and hasn't yet rolled over to show signs of bullishness that we need to corroborate what we're seeing on the higher time frame. So I'd want to see this start to make new highs, pull back, so that the standard deviation, instead of going high to low, goes low to high, allowing us to look for an entry off of the lower edge of our standard deviation as it moves higher. But yeah, hourly is not really giving me that confidence at the moment, so I'd pass on that. GBPCHF, this is kind of a bit more what we want to see. So in that last one we looked at, this is what I'm trying to see in the price action. You can see that we had the lower lows, lower highs here, but then that price action's been broken and it's started to make higher highs now and higher lows. So that's what I want to see on the other one, which we're starting to see on this. So with this, yep, let's see if this stacks. Entry here, just eyeballing, it's about 160. Yep, so 160 would be around these levels here. So it's before these previous highs. this stacks as a trade for me. I would be willing to go long on this. So this is another one that I will just have a closer look at after going offline. Just check for correlation and just fine tune the entry. But yeah, certainly this GBP Swissy, I'd be happy to be long on this. What's this one? So this is GBPJPY. This is the one I looked at yesterday. I think I recommended long on this. Similar thing, we've had some nice retrace. You can see that the daily reason I've got this in as well, we've got multiple confirming factors here. So it found support on a horizontal, it found support on our 38.2 Fibonacci retrace. It's also in a oversold area on our standard deviation. So these are all clues that the price could move higher, and a stop loss below that level makes sense. And obviously when we stack this up, if we go for a 1-for-1 entry, 120, you know, our 1-to-1 trade is around there. So there's scope beyond this, beyond that 1-to-1, maybe for a 2-to-1 raw to risk if we take profits before these highs. So this is another good trade potential. So I'll be looking at this again. And the reason I'm just kind of earmarking these ones to come back on is because I'm not going to take all of them. I might take none of them when I look at these offline, but I would only be looking to take one at most. So it's really just assessing which is the best. So just looking at the lower time frames on these are still a bit flat, still within our standard deviation. So there's still signs of bearishness, in fact. So I'd want to see these highs, like in the last one we saw, the highs broken, this resistance that we're seeing, see that broken, and then the price pull back again, giving more context to our standard deviation from the low to the high rather than the high to the low. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how that materializes. But yeah, good long potential there on the GBPJPY. Same here on these GB pairs because of the pound strength at the moment. This is another one with a decent entry potential. It's a bit further off, so there's not as much profit potential in this at a snapshot. 250. So going for a 1-for-1 where the price is now would take the take profit pretty much bang on resistance. And if we look at the previous ones, there was more than 1-to-1 out of the trade based on the price action. So although this is good, there's just other factors at play here that mean that it's not as good as the other ones. Also want to just take into consideration the swap being long on this. It's quite hefty as well. So when you've got similar trades, because obviously, you know, when you've got currencies crossed with similar pairs, sorry, when you have a pair crossed with a similar currency, they're likely to be moving in a correlated or negatively correlated ways. They move similar or dissimilar from each other. If the trade looks the same, just take into consideration what's the profit potential and what are the costs of the swaps, because those are a cost of business as well. So GBP USD, no, there's better stuff out there. This is just hard to read, a bit of limbo, bearish overall, but it's had a pullback which is quite bullish, and it looks like that bullishness could continue in the short term because it's found support here at these previous lows and previous highs. So the price could in the short term be moving up, but overall there's this bearishness. So yeah, it's just indecisive. I wouldn't trade that. Pass. No, this is too far gone. Be short on this overall, but it needs to pull back to find some value. No, wouldn't be happy where the stop loss would be on this. This would be the most recent lower high in my estimation, which takes it way beyond this previous low. So that doesn't stack for me as a trade, so I'd pass. No, too far gone. Needs to pull back to find some value. So we have a lower high in play. So no, pass. USD CAD, no, too sideways, pass. too far extended, needs to pull back. I'd be bearish on this now because it's broken this resistance that was holding up. But to be long on this, it would need to pull back and find some support or a reversal candle off of the lower standard deviation. So pass on that as well. Limbo, because we've got this bearish move here with lower highs, lower lows. But this retrace here has been quite bullish and it's encountering resistance. It's just not enough information yet. This could find resistance and pull away and move lower and continue with this bearishness, or it could continue and break through to give more context to this bullish move. So pass. And that's it, Bitcoin. So yeah, that's it. I hope that's been of use. So I'll be back again tomorrow with and every weekday with analysis as well. All right, take care. Bye.